Mm, yeah. So in this lecture, we will look into the kubectl command. Kubectl basically interact with your master node. Master node. What is the other name of master node?
Master ही बता रहा है मुझे.
Control plane. Remember?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll look how we are able to, how we'll be able to do all the tasks. How we'll look into the pods, see the pod requirement, and all everything. We'll look into this. Do some practicals. Get the status of the different component. We will create the pods. We will edit the pods. We will look into the logs of the pod. Okay, all these things we'll do. So let's get it started. Mhm. Okay, and just started everything back again. Our mini cube is running. Okay, image. This mini cube is running. You can directly open the CMD. CMD or PowerShell, you can use either of them. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
So if you type kubectl, the very first command that we are going to use is kubectl get pods. Press enter. So it will show you the available pods in your system. Okay, I have a one pod which is nginx blah 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 blah. Let me delete this pod. kubectl.
We created this pod or it is by default?
No. If it in my testing part. Okay.
Okay.
So error the service does not have the resource. Okay, we will delete it in the later class. No need to worry. Okay, this pod is continuously running and okay. What are the other commands? I'll just close this one. So kubectl get pods will basically show you all the pods. Okay. Okay. kubectl get services. Let's see this one. Means if there is any service running, kubectl services. Services basically tells the one who is creating the clusters, the one who is creating the IP addresses. So far we have only one service, that is Kubernetes, which is by default. We do not created this one. Okay, this is the cluster IP and this is the IP address. So far only one service, one IP address has been assigned to you. Okay, so kubectl, if there are hundreds of pods, you can get to the kubectl get pods. If you are having services, okay, so far I don't have any services. So by default service is the Kubernetes service. Okay. Next command is kubectl create. Okay. This is the important one. For example, if I have to create pod, how do you create pod? using which component?
Deployment.
Deployment. Okay. So pod is
Hmm.
the smallest unit, but you are creating using the deployment.
Hmm.
Okay, which is the exception. So the command is kubectl create deployment name and the image. For example, kubectl create what name I can give. Suppose I'm going to Mongo AVA 29 29 dash dash image. Remember, we used to mention the image in the deployment YAML file, the image name,
Yes.
because the pod will always be created from the image. Image will come into your pod, it will get converted into the container and store in your pod.
Yes.
Kubernetes create deployment. Deployment image name and the, so which image will it
Spelling.
be?
Deployment spelling.
Is it wrong?
Hmm. O and L.
DEPLOYMENT. Correct, no?
DEPL.
Oh, LO. So
Hmm.
sorry. Command long LO deployment. Suppose I need a Mongo image. Okay.
Hmm.
So we know the in Docker have the image name is Mongo. So I will just get it right like this. Press enter. See, it is saying deployment Mongo AVA
Hmm.
images created, means the pod is created. Now, if I have to check the pod, I'll just use kubectl get pods. Kubectl get pods. So now I'm having two pods. Earlier was this Nginx, same now is Kubernetes, but you see it is not running. It takes time because container is creating now. So see the
Yes.
state is container creating. Once the container will be created,
Hmm.
it's still taking time. So
Okay.
give it a some time. Till then we can look into this one. You can also use, if I just want to see deployments, so you can just type kubectl get deployments. Get deployment. See, you have two deployments and it is now ready also. So if I do kubectl get pods, you can see it is running. Both the
Hmm.
pods are now running, which means
Yes.
container inside these pods are running.
Hmm.
Okay. In this way, we can create services as well. Okay. Create deployment, create services. So that we will look in the later classes when we will create service YAML file, even the
Oh.
deployment YAML file as well. Let's go further. So we looked into all three commands. Okay.
Hmm.
And this is kind of an example. kubectl create deployment. This is for Nginx. Okay. Same we did for the Mongo. Okay. Nginx was already created, so I don't want to create it back again. Instead of that, I created for Mongo. Clear? I hope there is no confusion.
Yes.
If you need any type of image pod, okay, like Jenkins one or what MongoDB, we already looked at that one.
Hmm.
MongoDB Express. So whatever the pod, you take out the image, create a pod out of it. That's very simple. So we looked into kubectl get deployment as well, and kubectl, yeah, get replica set. You can also type this one. Basically, automatically, or you can say this one. By default, replica set get created when you create any pod. So Kubernetes take care of that one.
Hmm.
Replica sets. See, two replica set also got created on behalf of your pods.
Okay.
Got it? So if one get destroyed, it will be replaced by other. But by default, it will create only one. Okay. If you need more than one, then you have to edit
Mm.
further, which we will look into that. I'm recording now this one.
Yes.
Okay. Now, so the flow goes like this. Deployments manages replica set. Also manages replica set. Replica set manages your pods because your pod replicas are inside this replica set. Okay. So you can say deployment manages the replica set manages all the pod replicas. Okay.
Mm.
And the pods manages your container.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go there. So replica set is managing the replicas of the pod.
Mm.
Now let's go, and if you want to edit the deployment, okay, suppose there is some you want to create more of replica. I can do kubectl edit deployment. Yes, MongoDB. Pod name you need to copy, not the replica name. See, or also you can see the difference. They may ask you how will you differentiate between the pod and the replica. So if you see the name, it has contained some prefix, not suffix, sorry, suffix behind it, this one. But in replicas, you won't find that one.
Mm.
So through this, you can differentiate which one is the replica and which one is the actual pod.
Yes.
I'll just copy this pod name, kubectl edit deployment, press enter. There is some issue. This one is not found. Check the command again. Kubectl edit deployment. Okay. The name of our pod, actual pod name was Mongo AVA29. While creating it, we have given this one. Remember? Instead
Yes.
of the
Yes.
actual full pod. Now you
Mm.
press enter. So see, a file got created with the name of camel. This is a deployment file.
Mm.
By default, it gets created. So if you
Mm.
see, it is same like the app version, kind, metadata, spec, selector. We will look into all these things. If you scroll down, see replicas is how many by default replica you are getting? One.
One.
I can just edit it to 4. Control S and then close it. See, now it will say the deployment app Mongo AVA29 edited. If you do not edit, it simply just save it. If you do not edit anything, just close it so you won't see this one. Okay. Now you have how many? Four replicas.
Mm.
Let me see if they are showing over here or not. See, ready for, desired
Mm.
for. Okay. So it will show you the name one, but with this name, decide how many desired, currently how many are running, and ready how many.
Mm.
So if any one of them get destroyed, it will be replaced by the other one.
Mm.
Let's look into the further. Okay, you if you need to know the logs also, you can check the logs. This is also the important one. kubectl logs and the pod name. See, this is the log actually. It will cover all the kind of uh, operation you have done so far in your pod. It will
Mm.
cover each and everything. Okay. When the date got modified, what are the things changed, everything. If someone comes, do some specification. So like this. So if any problem comes, you can look into the log. Okay, you can transport this log into a file and look clearly over there as well. Okay. Understood so far all the
Yes.
commands?
Yes.
Then you can also do the describe pod. Describe will be more in the structure way.
Hmm.
Let's see here.
And if you want to delete the replicas, then we have to edit it or
Edit it. Simple go and edit.
okay.
You can put it 0 also over there or 1, 2, whatever.
Hmm.
Okay. But generally we don't do from the control panel. We will create a separate YAML file, which I showed in the previous class.
Hmm.
And I'll show you in the next class also. So there we will go and change into that YAML file. And then we will run that YAML file here so that it
Hmm.
will be visible. Let's see here. Describe pod. Before that, I need to get the pod name. See, 4 pods are running.
Yes.
Mhm. HCTL, describe, and the, so see, this is more in the structure way compared to the log. You can see name of the pod, namespace, the priority, service account, even the IP addresses if you want to check what is the IP address of my pod. Okay. Control by what? Control by replica set, okay, which is controlling our pod. Then container ID, image name is Mongo. Okay.
Hmm.
So we can do, you can see all these things. Great. Let's go further. The next is the interactive mode. So basically, how does it work? You can interact with any of the image if you want. kubectl exe hyphen it pod name mongo av29 and hyphen bash slash bin check forward slash or with slash. Mm, yeah, correct. We press enter. Error. I guess I need to give the pod name, whole pod name. Because if I have more than one and both are creating by the name of Mongo AV829, it will get
Hmm.
confused which pod to open.
Okay.
So see, everyone is containing na Mongo AV829, AV829. I
Hmm.
need to give them the specific name of my pod. If you have one only, then it may work, but more than one, it will face difficulty. Okay, it is saying it's
वो है
been
hyphen
bash.
plus space शायद.
In space will be there actually.
Okay.
See, now I'm connected to, and it is a Linux container. Okay.
Hmm.
Now you are inside your pod, and pod environment is the Linux environment. If I'll do ls, see
Hmm.
all the directories I can see over here. Got it?
Yes.
Let's exit from this one. So that's an interactive mode to interact with your pod. I'll exit from this one.
Hmm.
Okay, so bin bash. Then if you want to delete, kubectl delete and the deployment and the name of the deployment. ctl delete deployment Which deployment I want to delete? So deployment will be only two. Okay, it's Mongo and Nginx, right? See, pod is different. I'm not deleting the pod, I'm deleting the deployment. kubectl delete deployment Mongo. Acha, let's delete the Nginx. What was the name of that Nginx? Nginx Dell. The very first two is the name of your
Hmm.
the name of your deployment. The rest is added for the pod purpose. Enter. See, this has got deleted from the namespace. Namespace is basically the space where everything is running. So
Hmm.
this one, if I do kubectl, you'll get pods. So I'll be having only four of this one.
Hmm.
Let me
Yes.
check if it works on the. But if I try to delete a pod, what will happen? How many pods will be seen here out of four?
3.
There you get stuck. The thing is, you will see four. Now
Hmm.
you have to answer why. Because in replica set, we defined how many?
4.
Four. So
Yes.
Kubernetes will take care that either of the pods get deleted, it will be replicated back again and maintain that the ratio of four.
Hmm.
So even if I delete over here,
Hmm.
kubectl, instead of the deployment, I'll delete the pod and the pod name. Now if I do,
Hmm.
see I'm getting four again.
Yes.
But this one is different ID compared to the
Hmm.
previous one.
Yes.
So the ratio of 4 and see it is just built 5 seconds back.
Hmm.
Understood, no? So this
Yes.
is again a kind of a question you may ask in the interview.
Hmm. So we just cannot simply delete the replica.
The pods,
Hmm.
and that is the main job of creating the Kubernetes. So that whenever
Hmm.
a container operating on a pod, if pod get destroyed, it should be replicated back to the another one. And the
Yes.
ratio of 4 or whatever the replica number you mentioned always be maintained.
Hmm.
Then this kubectl apply -f file name. File name is basically the YAML file name you need to provide, which this command we will look into the later classes. Okay.
Okay.
Because we will have to create the YAML file and then we will apply this command. So this command will basically help you to create the deployment. Okay. We directly create it through the command kubectl create, but if you have a file of YAML and you want to create deployment from that one or service YAML file, then you have to use this one, kubectl apply -f for the file and the file name
Hmm.
in the later class. Okay, it knows when to update. Okay, what happens? Suppose if you create one file, YAML file, and you use this command. So what it will do? It will create a deployment. Okay,
Hmm.
I'm going to do some changes on my YAML file and I use this same command. Will it create a new file or will it update the previous file?
Update.
Update. So
Hmm.
so instead of creating a new file of that same deployment, it updates. So Kubernetes knows when to create a new file. If the file is not available, it will create it. If the file is available, it will update it. And that's all. Let's just quickly we see. CRUD
Hmm.
command we looked, we created the deployment, we edit the deployment, we deleted the deployment. That's the CRUD command. Okay. Create, edit, and delete. We looked into the status using the pod get nodes. Okay. Get nodes, get pods, get services, get replica set, get deployment, anything you can use. Okay. Using kubectl get command. Then we debugging also, we looked into the log of pod as well. Hello, are you there? Hello.
Right.
Yeah. And then log into the console, get the interactive mode also using the kubectl exe command. Then get info about the pods using the describe command.
Mhm.
Use configuration. We will look this to command in our next class. Okay, that is kubectl apply -f, basically the
Mhm.
file name, and kubectl delete the file. Okay. And that, so that's all for this class. Any question?
No.
Okay, let me stop the recording.